Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are effectively going to be discussing the best options for nightmare raids and also the buffs to go with them and the strategies effectively. So obviously nightmare raids first iteration was quite awful. This time around it should be more manageable, it should be easier. So I do suspect that there will be more champions that do just fine quite well. But as a community, I think we have largely kind of zeroed in like 3 or 4 champions in general that do best, and like a single champion in each class effectively. So first we need to take a look at Tactician, and Tactician only has really one great answer as far as I can tell, and that's Juggernaut. Juggernaut is an absolute beast for the nightmare raids. He does core very well because you can easily get in your hits effectively. You can be as aggressive as you want, and you will do a very good job. Now, additionally to all of that, I do think Adam Warlock, Angela, Medusa, Hulkling, and Venom should also be doing fairly fine, but Jugs is by far and away the favorite. And then we do have the Vanguard here. In Vanguard, there's one true correct answer, and that is Iron Man with the critical armor. And again, I will move my head around so you guys can see these wonderful graphics from Cat Murdoch. But the tactic to go for with Tactician is unparalleled buffs. That is the best one that has worked out in the raids, the best overall for me personally and for most people that I know. And then the champions that synergize best with unparalleled buffs. But again, Juggernaut would be the simplest option there, especially with a good relic. And now with Vanguard, critical armor is typically what people go for. Critical armor does seem to be offering the most with the appropriate champions. Again, that is Iron Man as well as Colossus and Red Skull, but I do think Iron Man is kind of head and shoulders above that. And then we do have Vanguard. Again, I still have very little faith in the dot tactics, but in the Vanguard, there's one true answer and one true answer only, and that's Purgatory. Purgatory was the cheat code for the previous sets and has been every single time she has been included. Effectively, you want the prowess ender. We can discuss the strategies in a bit for each champion. So with Purgatory, a lot of people ask, how do you gain souls with Purgatory? And even though in raids gaining souls is not particularly important in my opinion, for most part anyways, but in order for you to gain the soul, you need to knock out your opponent with a special attack whilst you're in demonic rampage. That is how you gain souls with unawakened Purgatory. And then we have, if the opponent's knocked out while demonic rampage is active, their souls instantly captured. That is if your Purgatory is awakened, then you just need to knock out the opponents while in demonic rampage. If Purgatory is not awakened, again, that has to be with special attack. Other than that, the base idea is to rely on the level 3. So first things first, you build up the prowess, so increase raid favor gained from missions by 6 for each prowess. You do not gain prowess naturally, but grant 50% prowess passive for 45 seconds, combo ending attacks. So you want to build up your prowess, and then you want to drop a level 3 whilst in demonic rampage, because that level 3 gains a non-stacking power, gain buff, yada yada yada, rampage, or if opponent's soul is captured, this attack deals the max opponent deals 4% of opponent's max health in direct damage. That is the description there. So effectively, it's going to be a very big number. So a couple of level 3s will effectively get you to your damage limit. Easy peasy. And with Purgatory, yeah, you just kind of want to be spamming your level 3s there. Then with Juggernaut, obviously Juggernaut I do not need to explain too much, but the idea is you just spam your level 2s and you smash your opponent the best you can. Now the raids themselves will also offer you heal block for the Weapon X fight. And yeah, you do have fairly good time against Jabari, because you do not rely on debuffs to begin with, not that she can purify much now. And against Korg too, even though his bounce back damage will be reduced, you still can completely avoid it by holding block and using your unstoppable in a form of a counter punch. Juggernaut seemingly did the best in the first week, and that should not change too much now. So that would be for the Tactician champion. And then I think that was alongside that we have the OG Storm. OG Storm is, always will be, and remains to be one of the most busted attackers. Toji Storm still does great with all her prowesses. And lastly, again, we're going to circle back to Iron Man. And I do think Iron Man's overall the most solid pick for just about every single fight now, especially also including the Apocalypse fight, because Iron Man can block unblockable specials from mutants, so that is tremendously helpful in bringing down the Apocalypse. And on top of everything else, if awakened, your block proficiency during opponent's special attacks gets doubled, so you're fairly chunky, not to mention all the armor benefits. And also, your special attack 1 invalidates prowesses, and that invalidation effectively bypasses any nodes and etc. And yeah, so you can play that Apocalypse much more freely, and you do not need to worry about, you know, the crash during the special attacks. So Iron Man is kind of very good. He's obviously going to do quite well against Wolverine Weapon X as well, and then it is a bit harder against Korg, I suppose, but overall, including the boss fight, he should be one of the more appropriate options. Now, all that said, obviously, this will still be a fairly challenging experience, let's just say it like that. And I might record some of the fights to upload, but we'll see how we do. I'm typically on the left side, so I'm dealing with Weapon X first. Then you can also do the swap, and that was the other thing that I wanted to point out. Now, if by any chance you're watching these videos after you have entered already raids, then remember that the swap option is available. However, you will not be able to change the buff that you have selected here. And again, the buffs that work the best overall thus far will go as follows. So, you know, that would be high recommendation from me to actually go and select those. Again, we're going to go over the Tactician. And Tacticians, by far and away, the most dominant buff is Unparalleled buffs. That is the one that just seems to do the best and give the best results to the people. So my recommendation is, again, going with Unparalleled buffs. If you don't have a Juggernaut, you might try out one champion and then another as you want, but that is overall the best buff here. Then for the Vanguard, it is the critical armor. It is the Iron Man, Colossus, Red Skull, Omega Sentinel that, you know, would be the calls to make here, in my opinion. Critical armor just about has proven itself the most throughout the lifespan of the raids. And then we do have Prowessender. Now, I have heard some people get good results with Crit Crusher. For me, it never worked out quite as well that way. But Prowessender will always give you solid special attack damage, and as long as you can maintain aggressive and drop off enough special attacks, you will get that damage in. So Prowessender overall, in my opinion, is the best call there. In maybe Crit Crusher too, but definitely not Siphon, Slider, and Dot Boost. So there we go. That is my advice for the Nightmare Raids. Let me know what do you guys think. Obviously, you know, some of you will have tried out some champions that many of us haven't. So give us your review on that, and let us know what else works and how it went for you the first time around. All that said, best of luck. Bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about